This is my first train set. I received it when I was 7 years old, about 1950 or so, 51. It was also my dad's first train set, which he received when he was 7 years old. Small pre-war O-gauge electric outline 248 compared to the standard gauge number 8, its big brother. Very similar otherwise except for size. The standard gauge is peacock and orange, and I restored it. The 248 is the traditional orange color of that era, which I also restored to the correct color. I'm not able to get the correct paints anymore in spray cans. I don't know why. Maybe somebody knows where to get them. This thing will probably bounce when it hits that switch down there, but here goes. This is a Lionel 254 that I restored. You can see it's a larger size than the 248. I'm sure the 248 would look good with some of the smaller Mark stuff like the 6-inch cars. But this one needs the bigger cars. Now we can compare the 254 with the 243. Once again, this is restored. I got it from a deceased friend of mine who grew up with this back in the 30s and 20s. His name was Ray. And in those days, he said his neighbor friends would mark their track with different colors so they could pool their track in their attics and run these huge railroads. So that's how the boys did it back in the 30s. And Ray was kind enough to sell this to me. It needed some work. I had to restore it. And I decided to put a knuckle coupler on one end and the old lash coupler on the other. That way I can pull post-war Lionel trains with it. Now it has a mechanical, not electromagnetic reverse lever right here. I can see the headlights don't want to work. Whether this will pull a big train or not remains to be seen. I doubt it. But let's do it just for the fun of it anyway. If nothing else, it'll probably spin the wheels. Just as I thought. We're going to do an experiment now and double head them if I can get these tricky couplers to join. And I did. See if two of them can pull. Well, we have a coupler failure here, but they were pulling it. This knuckle coupler I designed is probably not high enough or something. I don't know why it came out, but it did. We have a bump in the rail there, and maybe that's why. Let's do it again. So we'll run this by itself just to show you that it runs. That is, if I can uncouple it and get it on the track again. I don't know why. Well, it's off the track. Too fast. This is the Lionel O-gauge pre-war 262 steam engine. It has a cast base, sheet metal boiler, runs great. I really like it. As you can see, it has removable marker flags. on the front. This is my first train set. I received it when I was 7 years old, about 1950 or so, 51. It was also my dad's first train set, which he received when he was 7 years old. This is an early restoration that I did, which is far from perfect. This is when I was just getting started and trying to fix this stuff. Does it run? Well, it will once it gets started, but it doesn't want to start by itself. And it hasn't been run in a number of years, so let's see if we can get it to run. As you can see, it hums. Now it's creeping because I gave it a nudge. To get around that problem, and I'm not sure what it's caused by, but I think it might be a defect in the armature, I picked up another one for $2 and restored it. I didn't worry about the correct colors. They did make one this shade, but this is Rust-Oleum Hunter Green. For a $2 engine though, with a little bit of work, runs pretty good, and it will start. So I simply double head them, and together they run great. Except it's too dark, I can't see to couple it. Give it a nudge. Now this set dates to about 1922, so it runs pretty good for such an old train. I guess it's about the oldest one I've got. And I'm sure it was a great delight to my dad when he played with it back in the 20s.